It is astonishing. I spent the night. I don't know how many people are familiar with the Rosewood in London. It's a very swish hotel. It's been there for about 5 years or so, and they kindly asked if I'd like to spend the night managing it. And I did so, and it was fascinating. It is like theatre. There is an out front and a backstage, and it's chaos backstage, and it's infinitely less glamorous, and the whole thing is being run so precisely in a way that I never could have conceived. There was a wedding going on in the ballroom in the basement, and there are people on the first floor complaining about the music, and myself and the night manager had to keep both parties happy. They keep notes on everybody, and everybody's got a psychological profile. If somebody asks directions to the bar, truly, someone asks directions to the bar, you say, "Allow me to escort you," as opposed to "just stop the corridor, turn right." It was a very surreal night.
It's worth saying, Tom, that Tom learned his trade so effectively that when we were filming those scenes you watched in episode 1 at night, where he's waiting in the Nefertiti for Sophie to walk through and waiting for the phone call that Bella gives him to warn him of Sophie's life being in danger, we were way back preparing for a wide shot. And this was a real hotel that was still alive that we were filming in, and people kept trying to check in with him. I think in the course of the night, 8 people approached him and were rather kind of irritated that he was unable to check them in and show them to their rooms. So he was.
And I was going, let's film it, let's film it.
I did actually. Some people came back from dinner. Could I have key 320, please? Absolutely, sir, by all means. And the real night manager behind the screen didn't notice. But I haven't talked about this, but I also, as much as Jonathan Pine is a hotelier, he's also a former soldier. And there's so much a part of the engine that motivates him, I think, and the fire inside him. I always thought that's true. In Le Carré's, this very same chapter that Hugh remembers so well, chapter 3, Pine is introduced as a graduate of a rainy archipelago of orphanages and foster homes, a sometime army wolf child in a special unit. And then goes on to say he's a self-exiled creature of the night and a sailor without a destination. And we updated his military service from Belfast in the novel to Iraq. And we had a stunt coordinator called Julian Spencer, who himself was a British paratrooper. And I remember asking him for very specific training, and you'll see that his soldiership comes into play later on in the series. And I was fascinated by the duality between, there's a man who's in hiding and concealed behind the anonymity of uniform, the uniform of a soldier, the uniform of a night manager, and that those skill sets were transferable in some way. But going under Julian's tutelage and the way he trained me, I learned things I never would have learned. The capacity to improvise in a situation which is physically dangerous. I found that fascinating.
Yeah, it's there's so much in this, and